a heavy lifter. It's a little different from the short wing box, meaning it can lift more weight. And what I've done is I've put these big giant fuel tanks on here. Look, huge, and filled them up. And of course the wings are bigger and way more, but they have a larger lifting surface, and for performance I can take this top wing and lower it or raise it. You'll also see I changed the engine. This is these engines are like Volkswagen engines. The block splits down the middle, and they're cylinder engines, internal air-cooled internal cylinder engines. Well, they could be external, but the crank's internal. Different from like a World War I rotary engine, you know, where the propeller spins and all the pistons are in a circle around the central, I don't even know what you'd call it, the central compression chamber. Anyway, this is more like a car engine, less like an old school airplane engine. I think the video, 3-minute video where I wrecked, was the old school World War I engine. Heavy on torque, a little low on like initial burst, but they'll drive you. But anyway, this one flies a little different, so this is actually the one that I think has promise. Once again, the pilot's only 3 foot tall, so keep that in mind and realize that it's only 5 foot to stand in that wing, and probably 6 or 7 feet from center point to outer edge. Gives it a total, let's just call it a 13 foot wingspan, but it's about the width of a road. Definitely a 2-lane, could go right down the middle. Anyway, let's just go ahead and do it now. We're all set up. I've already raised the 5th gear in the rear, what I call the driving gear. You can leave that down if you can take off on a ramp. I can show you that on the next run. But let's just try to take off normal. So here we go. I'm hoping to wrap this video up in about 6 minutes, and I'll try not to crash. It's just kind of funny in the 3-minute video, so I left it. Anyway, I've got the prop engine. This is just a touch over light sport aircraft regulations. Just a little too much high-end speed, and I don't know if they'll let me use a governor on the carburetor to cut that down, or if I have to actually put a smaller engine in. But I've got this engine governed, so this engine can do even more. Let's go ahead and do it. Once we raise the landing gear, we get more lift. As you can see, that was just kind of a natural lift. It's got a little bit of upward. I'm full-blown throttle now. I'm going to cut it back to about 3/4 or 2/3, 66 to 75% right now. And that would be our maneuvering speed. So we'd have takeoff speed, full throttle, maneuvering speed about 75 to 66%. And of course landing speed at 1/4 to an 1/8, depending on, you know, where you're at, how fast you came in, everything. So now in an earlier test flight I had a little problem with roll authority. I didn't have enough, so you can see the top wings. I not only have pitch in those, but I have roll authority. Now the thing is almost too zippy. I almost want to dial that back, but I have to take pitch away to take roll away. Or just live with the slow roll like a common man would do. Just fly the craft you got. This thing almost flies too good. I would be truly concerned if I was the Federal Aviation Administration and someone with no piloting skills could hop in and almost do what I'm doing right now. With the 20 to 40 hour class, he'd be better than this. Anyway, so let me talk it back to half speed now. Let's go ahead and demonstrate that we can turn more than one direction. Little 1 minute turn. I think I'm losing altitude. I need to gun it. I'm losing perception. Okay. I can actually see my runway in sight. I put it back to full throttle because I felt like I was falling to the earth, and I might have been. I actually have my gauges turned off for the pretty video, so I'm flying by feel. So that's another good point. You know, I'm not even looking at instrumentation. Anyway, so as we know, the idea is to fly over the runway, straight and level flight, and the airplane will land itself. Tap the brakes. Don't press on them hard. Tap them. Tap, 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 tap. Alright. So that's your basic takeoff and landing, and everything was real smooth. I didn't struggle at all. And with this rear landing gear down, this airplane will not take off. You can go down the road 100 miles an hour. It's not lifting until you drive off a cliff, or even a short ramp, not up but down, and then you will be forced into air flight because you are flying down the runway already. And then you can just raise your gear, and I'm going to do that now. Alright, so we probably should do a flight check before we go. So you know what a flight check is. Make sure your brakes work. Probably something to look at on your landing gear. Make sure there's free of obstructions like a hot dog wrapper. Or especially looking for dripping oil or obvious mechanical damage, of course. Okay, so this is pitch up. That's me pulling back on the stick. It's me pushing forward on the stick. Okay. This is my roll. You'll notice I have two roll surfaces in the middle and the top. And so I'm roll. Now look at the top wing. It's pitch and roll. It's dual. The one in the center is roll exclusive. The one on the bottom is pitch exclusive. Now, the yaw control, sometimes called the rudder, we have two. Okay. And there's no crossover. Anyway, so I promised to launch us off an incline, and you can see the airplane take off naturally. So there we go. And by the way, when you take off this way, you don't need full speed. You can take off at cruising speed, like maybe hit the edge of the runway, 100, 125 meters per second. In this instance, that's way too fast, but I'm going full throttle. Maybe I'll go half throttle on my approach to the tower because it gets a little squirrely when I get to higher ends. And I don't want to be going off the edge doing 150, 116. So I'm just piddling down the runway now, about half throttle, 1/4. Okay, here we go, full throttle. Now, bear in mind, the objective's to just drive right off the runway edge. And this is actually a preferred takeoff method of space planes because they're so heavy and you almost don't have a choice. This thing should fly like a craft. Okay? And you saw it wasn't much, a little 10-foot drop, and we're off the air to the races. And now back off to maneuver at 3/4, 66 to 75%. likes to pitch, likes to roll. It's a really zippy little craft compared to, like what we call a fixed wing aircraft. That'd be like a Cessna where the wing's on the top. And see, this wing is on the top. Now, it flies like a Russian Tupolev, which has a big, giant wing on the top. I think it's primarily for lift on a cargo plane. I think that's why this is such a heavy lifter. But it really flies like a high-performance mid-wing aircraft or a jet fighter. I'll show you in a minute. Let me go ahead and I love that when I can see my shadow in focus. Look at the program bringing it into focus. So I don't know, can we fly through the tunnel right in there? See it? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But I just flew over it. I'll die for sure. Okay, so I'm going to do a little map of the Earth flying. See the panic? I saw it coming and I grabbed the stick and it didn't make me pay. It actually responded and I just saved my life. Or should I say the aircraft saved my life because I'm too stupid to fly with altitude. Anyway, that's my biggest worry with a craft like this is that people just... It's going to be too fun, too dangerous, and they're going to kiss the earth. You know, how many people want to do that? I know I want to, but I don't want to die either. But even more than that, I would love to have a car where I don't fly in traffic, where I can fly over traffic, land at home, you know. Trip to Lawrence is about, I don't know, 7 minutes. Kansas City's 22. Maybe less if you hit that airport by Kemper Arena. Anyway, I'm coming in hot and heavy too. So, this is a test a little bit. I don't even know how fast I'm going. Simulating that my gas is broke and I have to come in hot and then cut it off over at some point. So I can't turn my gas down, I can just shut her off. So I think I'll pull up, cut it off right there, pull up. Alright, now I'll point at the runway, straight and level flight. Remember, we never land an airplane. We just fly level over the runway. And the airplane eventually lands itself. Ooh, little hot, little hot, little hot. See how the yaw works when we have air running across our wings? So this craft, I need to work on the steering. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but it's alright as long as I'm moving. Anyway, I'm going to hit the brakes hard to see what happens. I'm slamming them. Alright, that was locking them up. Alright, I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching.